another dollar. Make a Filipino wanna holler. Life in fast forward. Somebody call it down.
How's it going, family? So I've been getting some questions lately from people who are also aspiring artists like myself and who are pondering whether or not they should move to LA. So that means it's time for another installment of Up Close and Personal. So my parents told me that when I was a kid, I sang before I spoke. And that's something that I really took to heart. There's nothing really that excites me more than to be able to create and have this outlet and just kind of let myself out. But I was stuck. I felt stuck in a career that I felt like I was gonna go nowhere with. I had based my idea of success on what other people thought success was, and that was a big mistake, I think. But I want to live with no regrets, but more on that later. I decided to go into the culinary scene because I knew that I was good at it. Not that I had a real passion for it or anything, but I just knew that I was capable of working like 18 hours straight without stop. To be able to put my head down and just work, you know? And I did that for many years. I even went to school for it, worked at many restaurants, ate a lot of food, made a lot of food, and it was cool. In the kitchen, there's a sense of camaraderie that you won't really find anywhere else. I pretty much lived in the kitchen and lived with kitchen folk. You know, I worked with them, I hung out with them after, got drunk, got into fights, and did a lot of other things that I'm not super proud of. So I was really immersed in this world. And when you find yourself immersed in something, it gets hard to imagine yourself succeeding in something that is different from that. And that was my problem. You know, that was my big problem. The truth was, the dream that I had when I was a little kid was still my dream. I was still writing songs. I was still putting up covers on YouTube. When people would ask me what I do or what my job was, I would say, well, I'm a musician, but during the day I cook. At some point during that long career, I found myself at a point where I was just saying I'm a cook. Completely defeated, running to my one safe place with my tail behind my legs, essentially. And I found myself in kind of a time warp. I would wake up, get dressed, walk to the bus stop, drink on the bus stop, drink on the bus, get to work, put my head down and just grind. Get off of work, drink with my kitchen pals, get on the bus back home with my little flask, put my head down on my pillow and pass out. So it wasn't really much of an existence, I guess. I was just doing, I was just going day by day, working as many hours as I possibly can to make ends meet. And it got to be very difficult. And it was difficult not in a way that like, it was hard to make a decision to go to work every day. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It was easy to keep doing the same thing day in, day out. And worst of all, it was easy to make the excuse that I would never ever make it in the music industry anyway. But always, music just kept gnawing at the back of my head. Like an old friend texting me, how you been, after a long time of not hearing from each other. It seemed like it was kind of calling my name. Opportunities started popping up to feature on like hip-hop artists' songs as like a guy who sings the hook. And slowly I took those opportunities. But at the same time, my career in food was steadily growing. I found myself in the business with no business background. Then I found myself devoting 7 days a week and almost all of the hours of the day into this business. Not really much time for friends or family or the person I was with at the time. Much less for music. And it was all really kind of depressing, to be honest. I mean, I would come home from a long day of work, but instead of sleep, I would sit on my balcony and just cry. I had no idea what it was that was making me hurt that way. But then I was introduced to my people in Auto Game, which is the reason why these people are super important to me. Kings, Mike, Cham, Ryan, Oos, Brody, Tam, all of y'all are super important to me because y'all really reintroduced music into my life. Speculation, you're a big part of that too, man. For real. Because of y'all, I was able to record music. Because of y'all, I found myself writing again. And it was something that I didn't have for many years. I found myself opening up for acts like Black Alicious, Casual, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side, Ab Joe, and many others. All while still maintaining my restaurant. During one of these tours, I had a big realization. We were driving from Calgary to Kelowna, BC in Canada. And what was supposed to be like a 7-hour drive turned into like a 13-hour fiasco. You see, there's this like semi-trucks that had like jackknife and caused a full stop to happen on the highway. And on that particular stretch of highway, it was just trees. There were no gas stations, there were no restaurants, there was nothing. So we had to turn off the car, save the gas, and just kind of relied on shutting the door to keep us warm. When someone needed to take care of their business, they would hop out the car and it was deep, yo. It was like knee deep in snow. So really there was nowhere to go. We're trapped inside this vehicle with all these other dudes and all of our equipment, and with everybody complaining and angry and worried that we were going to be late late for the next venue, I realized something. I realized that in that moment I was happier than any time I had spent back home. That even with all of this negativity surrounding me, it was still what makes me happy. Music, traveling with my friends and creating something, and having hope that there is a possibility of a future in this craft. So in that moment, I decided to set some wheels in motion and put together a plan to ultimately end up in LA. Now, why LA? I knew that all of the movers and shakers of the industry that I wanted to be in were in LA, so it was a logical move, honestly. I also had a couple of contacts in LA, namely JB Eckel and Casey Porter. So I knew that there was some opportunity in this, you know? But for the next couple of years, I just buckled down, still working in the kitchen, but without all the responsibility of owning a restaurant. I was able to just do. I would tell my bosses, hey, if you really want to hire me on, I would love to work for you. But my stipulation is that I be able to leave when I need to, go on tour if I need to. And I was lucky enough to be hired by people who were just so understanding of that. People that really understood that my passion really lies in music. So when it came time for me to have the opportunity to go, I left. I packed up my little Honda Civic with all the essentials, sold everything else that I didn't need. Also, I can live a life where at 98 years old, I'll be able to look at my life and say, I did everything I can to be happy. I did everything I can to do the thing that I love the most. So your question was, why did I quit my job and move to LA? It's because deep in my heart, I know that this music is what I need to do. It's what I have to do. And it's ultimately what will make me the happiest. We all only have one life. And LA was the place that I saw as the place to be able to gain the contacts that I need in order to make it in this business. That's why I moved here. I was watching a vlog from Casey Neistat, and in it he says that there can be no action without intention. But without action, intention means nothing. And what I intend to do with my life is to be able to create, to be able to live a life with no regrets, to be able to feed a family if ever I'm blessed with one, with the thing that I love the most. There were a lot of people that told me not to come here. Mostly it was people who had moved here before, ultimately failed at what they wanted to do, and felt that that was a universality. That if they can't make it here in this city, then no one can. But honestly, it's not the city. It's you who makes your experience. It's you that has to make the effort to pick up a pen and write something, to pick up a guitar and learn those chords, to turn on the computer and produce something, to press record on the camera and tell the world your intention. It's you, not the city. Just a year and a half ago, I had no idea how to record myself. I had no idea how to produce music. I had no idea how to engineer myself. I didn't even have the tools to make those things happen. So what I did was I took all of my energy and all of my resources into getting these things, into making it happen, into manifesting it into my life. Like forcefully picking up a leg and putting it down and doing the same to the other and doing it again and again and again and again until I'm at running speed. And now I'm running straight into a future that I want, running straight into a future that I create. I'm standing here knowing how to produce. I'm standing here knowing how to record myself. And within this past couple months, I went and bought a camera so that I could do this. First, I learned how to use iMovie, shot everything on my iPhone, and slowly moved up to the camera that you see me shooting with now. I learned Final Cut Pro X just within this month. Like, you could literally track back from all the videos that I've done before and see exactly where that point was. Hold on. This is the first video that I ever edited on Final Cut Pro, and that was 2 weeks ago. And now I'm pretty proficient at it, and I can only get better at it. My point is, if you don't know how to do something, learn it. The potential of a human mind is so vast and so great that really you can do anything that you set your mind to. It's just that a lot of people get stuck in excuses, and I don't want to be one of those people. Thank you so much, family, for letting me do this. If you like this video, please press like. If you loved it and you think that I should make more, then please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified when I drop a new video. And if you think you want to support this journey and truly be a part of it, then please visit my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/lakan. And I will continue to create quality content for you. Quality that can only get better and better. I love you, family. My name is LAKANVLOG. Stay blessed, stay hungry, and as always, peace, love, and music.
Afro-Filipino. Another day, Filipino wanna holler. Life in fast forward. Somebody call a doctor, but it feels so good. Putting in that time when things you